Where to start? Where to start? Let me start with this. If you're supporting the WNBA in any way other than watching Caitlin Clark play basketball, you are now complicit. This is what I believe. You are complicit in the destruction of Caitlin Clark herself. You are complicit in the smears and vile attacks and lies on millions of her innocent fans. Of course, right now I am talking about Alyssa Thomas and how she has now gone. She hasn't gone from being the thug to the victim. She's trying to turn herself into the victim, and it's pretty effective. It's pretty easy for her to do because, of course, we know that players like Alyssa Thomas, low IQ thugs with no skill of basketball, no skill in life, nasty, nasty human being, but she's protected. She's got a few boxes she can check. And so the media is complicit in helping her change the narrative that she is the victim. She was somehow forced to physically assault and attack Caitlin Clark on the basketball court. And now, how dare you, sir, how dare you, madam, call her out on her thuggish behavior? Shame on you. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for being here. Truly appreciate all of your support. Y'all know what I'm saying. Like, comment, subscribe. You know the drill. So I'm going to play a short clip from you, Alyssa Thomas. We got to get into this a little bit. There's actually a whole lot of more other stuff I was digging into that I'm going to save for another video that I think is really important because I want to bring some receipts. Because as we know, players like Alyssa Thomas never bring receipts. So let's listen to this short clip. It's only about 20, 25 seconds, and we are going to talk about it.
I'm crazy. The playing the game, being. I'm crazy.
There we go.
The playing the game, being suspended, just the whole narrative that's being painted out there. It's unfortunate that it's come to this over basketball. A lot of us, myself included, didn't even know the play took place until after the game, and now we're being painted as thugs and there's death threats out on us. So it's really unacceptable. It's something that needs to change in this league, and I'm just really sick and tired of it.
You're sick and tired of it. Okay, first of all, you are a thug. Second of all, how did you not know what you did? Talk about a lack of accountability, which these women in the WNBA are absolutely amazing at. I will say that they have mastered the art of taking zero accountability. Alyssa Thomas could punch you in the face and then tell you how she is the victim of your behavior. Pretty much every player in the WNBA could do exactly that. I don't believe a word about the death threats, not a word at all, because once again, we never see any proof. Let's dial it back. Let's run through this real quick. Remember Angel Reese? Remember on her podcast, she talked about nude pictures being sent and this and that. Forget the fact that that goes all the way back, 30 years when the internet was fast enough that people could do that and they used Photoshop and they would just put pictures of famous people on naked bodies of other people. Hell, it was a bit in Scream 3 when Courtney Cox, who was on Friends with Jennifer Aniston, was playing Gail Weathers, and she started smoking, and somebody said, when did she start smoking? She said, when those nude pictures of her appeared on the internet. And she goes, it wasn't me. It was just my head on Jennifer Aniston's body. Hello? I mean, come on. Are we really? And then she made the thing about the stalker, right? And someone following her home. But we never got anything else out of it. We never got a police report or anything like that. Don't mind me. I'm just trying to find my little arrow, which is ridiculously impossible on this computer. Anyway, then what we did have though was Caitlin Clark, who never said anything publicly, had an actual stalker who got arrested. Sophie Cunningham, as we found out recently, didn't say anything publicly, didn't complain, but had an actual stalker who got arrested. Alyssa Thomas, on multiple occasions, has lied about Caitlin Clark's fans, accusing them of yelling racial slurs at her during games. Never has brought any proof, never has apologized. The WNBA has never investigated. Speaking of investigations for yelling racial slurs, she supported Angel Reese when Angel Reese lied about Caitlin Clark fans yelling racial slurs. We see it time and time and time again. It is the playbook. Be a bully, be trash, be a thug, say nasty, vile things, do nasty, vile things, get the reaction you deserve, then ignore what you did initially and play victim. It is the ultimate in gaslighting. It reminds me of what is that story or example of what it is. And I think this, I can't remember if this is a actual psychology study or not, right? But there's that story where, as the example, where the wife comes home and the husband's in bed with another woman. She bursts into the bedroom. He gets up. The other woman leaves. He starts getting dressed. She's freaking out, of course, and he just acts like she's crazy. No idea what she's talking about. There was no other woman there, right? To the point where eventually she starts questioning herself. Did I really see what I saw? This is what the WNBA has been doing, and the WNBA players have been doing all this time. You heard her, Alyssa Thomas. Oh, what do you mean? No one knew what happened. I love how she says no one knew what happened because she's kind of admitting what happened, right? Oh, she didn't even know. What are y'all talking about? What are y'all talking about? I didn't do anything. I'm being called a thug. Why? This is about basketball. Why is this not about basketball? What is going on? Forget the example after example after example of Alyssa Thomas's dirty play, whether it's Courtney Williams, Brianna Stewart, Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, the list goes on and on and on. Now, I will say this, and the WNBA players do know this. It's a hell of a lot easier to do this and pull it off because Alyssa Thomas, as we know, she's just being Jussie Smollett again. It's a lot easier to be a lying scumbag and gaslight people when you know you have the entirety of the media on your side. They never bring any proof. The media never asks them for any proof. And no, I do not care if you're going to show me something about, a bot or someone with 10 followers or any of that kind of nonsense. That is social media, folks. Okay? That is social media. That's the kind of crap that happens all of the time. Social media is a nasty, nasty, nasty place. And people say awful, awful things on social media. It's always been that way. Alyssa Thomas is not special. WNBA players are not special. Normal people get that kind of stuff. I promise you, the YouTubers that you watch get that kind of stuff all of the time. And I'm not saying it's right. And to be fair, most of them are probably from, wackos in basements with 10 followers as well. Okay, so I mean, I'm not excusing it, but I am putting it in a little bit of context because Alyssa Thomas has a pattern of doing this. And again, there's never any proof, and she's never asked for any proof. Then she also complained about, oh, Kathy Engelbert didn't reach out to make sure she's okay, and Kathy Engelbert, she hasn't talked to Kathy Engelbert in years, and yet I have on. Let me see, I want to make sure I have this right because I have this here somewhere. All right, found it. This is from with USA Today. A person with knowledge of the situation shared with USA Today, Engelbert reached out to Thomas last week. Yesterday, Thomas said had not heard from her. The person says texts were exchanged and Engelbert offered a call. She also asked league security to connect with the Mercury after hearing about the threats. And once again, this is another example of, for the most part, now shout out to Megan for doing this, but for the most part, Alyssa Thomas knew that she was going to get the support of the media going up against Kathy Engelbert without a doubt. Now, let me give you a little advice from Courtney Williams, a WNBA player who seems in the moment to maybe be the most rational of all.
The internet is not a real place. So I think when you treat the
I swear the freaking volume kicks on like 4 seconds into the video. Let's try that again.
The internet is not a real place. So I think when you treat the internet like a real place, that's when you get everybody like, oh my God. But it's like, bro, you don't know these people in real life. Just press the block button, bro. Just press the block button and then move on. Like, the internet.
Well, that's because people like Alyssa Thomas have a pathological need to be the victim. Now, I've got tons of these. I've been compiling these. We want to do a in-depth video about this stuff because I want to bring the receipts. But just to give you a quick idea of some of the stuff, this is online. This is directed at this is Caitlin Clark. You think the league violating her now? I'm about to do the Bounty Gate 2.0 and put 1,500 on legs and 2,000 on upper body. Bitch built like a pretzel stick. It won't take much for her to bleed. And I hope that car of yours got some, talking about Caitlin Clark, of course. Hope that car of yours got some armor on it. 7.62. That's a bullet size, right? 7.62 millimeter. Rips through limbs like it's paper towels. Yeah, man, there you go. Added the word white as well. So you ever hear Caitlin Clark ever talk about any of this stuff, ever complain about any of this stuff? No, of course not. But Alyssa Thomas is the victim. This is getting worse and worse and worse to the point where I don't know if the WNBA is going to be able to recover from this because Alyssa Thomas and a lot of these other players and the media with them are really trying hard to ignite a skin color war, my friends, and that is not going to end well for anyone. The bottom line is we have a bunch of petty, jealous, insecure, so-called basketball players who have never, ever had anyone care to watch them because they're really bad at what they do. They've spent 30 years in a bubble. They're used to having zero consequences for the things they say, zero consequences for the things they do. Their games are basically little social gatherings if you check the right boxes, right? All about humping, not hooping. The hooping is an excuse for the humping, and they got the NBA to pay for it. Until there are real consequences, this is going to continue, and it's going to continue to escalate. It is only going to get worse. And Kathy Engelbert does not have the courage to do what is needed. She is terrified of the letter mob. She is terrified of these players, right? She's out there basically apologizing to Alyssa Thomas and the Phoenix Mercury now, even though Alyssa Thomas is the perpetrator. Alyssa Thomas is the bully in this situation. Kathy Engelbert has not reached out to Caitlin Clark. Kathy Engelbert has not made a statement about the treatment of Caitlin Clark. Power, and I know it's so hard because it's a massive group of people, but the power, and it's going to take time, is ultimately in the hands of Caitlin Clark fans. Stop watching all of the other games. I get it. If Caitlin Clark comes back and healthy, I'm never going to say don't watch her. And I don't even like telling people to boycott stuff because I'm like, you do your own thing. I'm going to tell you my opinion on stuff and you do your own thing. It's not my place to tell you to watch or not watch, but I am suggesting in this situation as a Caitlin Clark fan that if you want to help make things better for the league, better for her, yeah, that 394,000 for the Aces Liberty game last week, game should not even get anywhere near that anymore. Don't watch a single other WNBA game unless Caitlin Clark is playing and you want to support her. Don't support the WNBA in any way. Let ratings plummet. Let them panic. There will be a renegotiation of the media rights deal in 2028, and it is going to be nasty for the WNBA when the ratings are a disaster and none of these Caitlin Clark fans are watching anymore. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Like, comment, subscribe. Yo, I'll talk to y'all later.